Oh, hello there. Yes. Well, good grief. The warm weather's brought out some canvassers. For the first time of living in Cambridgeshire, I came up here in 2009. For the first time ever, I was canvassed by a member of the Conservative Party yesterday, which was quite astounding. Never had the Lib Dems, although this is classic Lib Dem territory, and, I try and hide from the Labour Party these days if I can do. Did have a nice independent. Anyway, it was very pleasant to the Conservative guy. Did say I wasn't going to vote for him, though. Anyway, yes. Let's moving on from there. One of the things about authoritarianism, or authoritarians, of course, is the desire to seek control over all things, and it seeps into basically everything that they can do, and it makes them very angry when they can't actually control everything. Yeah, you meet lots of adults that are like that. They do get cross about the fact that you won't do what they want. They do get angry about it, and probably a prime example of that is Robert Jenrick, and he was been out in force for the last few days, having a go at bad judges and lawyers and solicitors, and he posted up a very long thread the other day, which was this: who are the judges that decide immigration cases? Immigration lawyers, Robert. Yeah. Well, let me lift the lid. All right. Is it an immigration lawyer? Yes, it is. Meet Greg O'Cillier. He specialises in asylum and deportations. Good thing, you would think, yeah. Okay, here's a snapshot of his social media where he reveals his far left and open border views. Oh no, boo hiss. Man with views, what puts them up? Oh dear, how can we have faith in the system? Anyway, he goes on to sort of outline about how dreadful this guy is, except he seems broadly about as liberal as you would expect a human rights lawyer to be, and then he does the whole bombshell thing of suggesting, of course, that therefore it makes him an unreliable person, whilst at the same time stating this: it's difficult to prove that O'Cillier's politics influenced this decision, or the many other cases he's overseen. Yes, it could just be that he is professional whilst having views. And it's one of those things that I tend to do, I like to think. But what we can safely say is that the political views he's broadcast today totally undermines confidence in the system. Don't think it does, but we'll come back to that point. Why hasn't the Judicial Appointments Commission properly vetting candidates? I imagine they do. The British people are sick. Oh, the British people, oh, bless them. Yes, you can always rely on them to be faceless individuals. But anyway, of activist judges and the mounting evidence of a highly politicised legal system, the judiciary must win back their confidence. Well, no, I don't think they do need to do that, actually, Robert. I think that the way that we can approach this is to stop having people like you, members of, well, an increasingly right-wing and authoritarian party and parties, and the British media steaming into people and making wild accusations which are fairly baseless. I would have thought it would have been fairly important for a member of the shadow cabinet not to indulge in kind of enemies of the people style things, yeah? I would expect a senior member of any incoming government to make sure that people have faith in the judiciary and not simply suggest that maybe some of them should be sacked, or that various aspects of what they might do as public citizens are curtailed. Because if they start with the judiciary and they get their own way, you can see this with Trump in the States, then they will spread that to all other civil servants, people like myself included. Now, you might argue that's a really good thing. You're entitled to that. But if you are going to suggest that, I don't want to hear you say anything about free speech. People are entitled to their opinions. And if there is no evidence that that affects their ability to do a job, then that's the end of it. And I would expect, particularly somebody like Robert, yeah, Mr. Painting over murals because I don't want to see children happy, him, would actually do his job, which is to uphold the system and not undermine people for cheap, petty political ends, because it leads to people like, well, Mr. Patrick Christie's, who was, jumping up and down along with loads of other people about the fact that Hamas are using the law to try to overturn the bans on their activities in the UK, which they're fully entitled to do. You can have your own particular opinions about Hamas. You're welcome to them. I have my own. They are a very, very nasty and quite murderous organisation. There, I've dared to say it. Oh, shoot me down in flames. Yes. Oh, no, I'll be criticising Brexit and I'm be in favour of open borders next and left wing and blah, 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 blah. Except I'm not, am I? No. Neither is these judges. But anyway, let's see what Patrick had to say about the people involved. Get out of the ECHR and maybe send someone round to Riverway Law just to double check that everything is really above board over there. Oh, hint, hint. Gosh, I wonder what he means by that. Hard to tell, eh? Patrick Christys reveals the track record of the men involved in the British law firm attempting to remove Hamas from the UK's terror list. Yes, they're people doing a job, Patrick. Okay? Now, we can have a system, if you want, as Robert wants, whereby all of our judiciary are basically party members. But if you cast your mind back to a bit of history, which you and various other people always find inconvenient, you might remember that in the late 1940s there was something called the Nuremberg trials, whereby various German judges found themselves in an awful lot of hot water over decisions that they'd made because they were political appointments. You can watch Judgment at Nuremberg. It's a great film. It's a great film. Watch that with Burt Lancaster. It's a great film. You might learn something about history and why what you're suggesting is very, very dodgy, as well as just snide and nasty. Because after all, people in glass houses maybe shouldn't post things up on social media which they then have to hide away from for several weeks before they eventually come back and do other things. And let's face it, there's a hell of a lot of people that match that description on GB News. I don't even need to name them. You can just reel off the list, can't you? Yes. Anyway, do have a glorious day. Do enjoy the sunshine. Do make sure that you don't hold any opinions, though, just in case the boys come round, suggesting that you are thinking the wrong thoughts. There you go again. It's that thought police thing, isn't it? Dreadful, yeah. Oh, you can't say anything. You can't do anything these days without the right-wingers coming round for you. Do have a lovely day. Enjoy the weekend, the sun, probably cutting the grass, let's face it. Enjoy.